G'day guys, welcome to oztooltalk. Tonight, Dwayne and I, we've got a couple of cordless circ saws.
Yep.
Little brushless models. I've got the Makita DHS680 and Dwayne's got
the Milwaukee FUEL M18CCS5.
Yep.
So this was the first ever brushless circ saw on the market, and Makita, I believe, were the second. But this one's been out a couple of years, or getting close to, maybe a year and a half. So we wanted to do a comparison, check out the runtime and the power and that sort of thing. So firstly, the Milwaukee, this is 4.06 kilos, and it's got that weight because it's got a really nice thick magnesium base plate and thick kind of blade guard around there as well. That's all metal, and also it's got a nice big motor.
Yep.
It's also got a dust chute, which we think is pretty impressive for a cordless circ saw. Hook your shop vac up onto that.
Yep.
What else? It's got an LED light that stays on for a little while, activated just by touching the safety lock.
Yep.
It's also got your rafter hook, which pops out into the forward position and right around the other side.
Yeah.
So that's good for hanging up. What about the Makita?
The Makita, guys, nice little compact unit. Couple of things to note. It has a slightly wider base than the Makita, than the Milwaukee, sorry.
Yep.
But it does have a little less meat to it. When we talk about meat, sort of little mouldings and strengthening beams in amongst it.
Yep.
In the moulding, in the magnesium moulding. Couple of things we really like about this. It's 3.56 kilos, so it's half a kilo lighter than the Milwaukee.
That's with a 4 amp hour battery.
With 4 amp hour battery, which we used in the test, which you'll see come up. Really like it. The handle's nice and slim, so it's actually quite a tight little unit.
Yep.
Also with this unit, hit the trigger, the light comes on.
Yep.
Not the safety with this one, who cares? They've
Yep.
got LEDs, which you don't have to start the tool to get that, so
Yep.
we really like that.
Yep.
Also has a rafter hook which flicks around in the forward position, and then also flicks across to the right, so that's got that. One more thing we've got, couple of guide rail slides, so you can actually put the guide rail at the front or at the rear. So now I'm no carpenter, I'm no cabinet maker. I'm not sure why you'd want it at the rear, but I like the fact that you've actually got that as a bonus.
Yeah, why not?
So got those, and that's a couple of bucks more on the unit. So you'd think that Makita's sort of going, you know what, this is a good feature. So someone's loving it out there.
Yep.
I like the fact that you've at least got that option.
That's right.
One thing we really like on this one also is that you've got the battery indicator on the tool. So as you're actually working along through the timber, you can actually see it in the top there.
Yeah.
Where your battery's at.
That's right, and we've sort of raised the Makita a few times about not having indicators on their battery.
Yep.
This one's kind of cool because you can see it as you're going.
Yeah.
Also on their little panel there, there's also a little light that shows you whether the tool is in high torque or high speed mode.
Yep.
I don't think it makes a lot of difference. It's really just indicating to you how hard the tool's working. Speaking of battery indicators, we have it on good authority that although they haven't arrived yet, Makita are actually producing batteries with a battery indicator on them.
Yep. That was a 6 amp hour with,
I don't know if it was a 6.
5 or a 6. Okay.
But it had 4 indicators on, which I like.
Yeah, that's cool. So watch your space for that, because the minute one lands here, we're going to be breaking someone's neck to get it. Like we'll climb over them.
Yep, absolutely.
We'll have it.
So that's exciting news for Makita.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, in terms of kind of what we don't like about these tools, the Milwaukee, the only thing we don't like about that is the handle is a bit thick.
Yep.
Just going to wear on your hand a little bit if you're constantly using it. And of course, it is the full 4 kilos.
Yeah, it's half a kilo heavier, so it might be part of it.
Yep. So that's the thing about the Milwaukee. A couple of things about the Makita we weren't totally wrapped in.
Yeah, a couple of things. Like there's a few little plasticky bits on it, and we don't want to belt Makita over stuff. But look, we're in the business of saying this is what we like, this is what we don't like. So we're going to tell you. On the front here, you've got your little plastic plate with increments on it.
Yeah.
Now the Milwaukee's got an engraved flush-mounted piece of steel.
Yeah.
And on your angle on the side, it's also the same.
Yeah.
Here the Makita's got the little plastic bit. I can actually flick it really easy because it's only got a screw in one end. It's going to snap.
Yeah.
So I think if you're going to make a feature, make the feature work really well.
Yeah.
So there's 2 bits of plastic here. This one's not so bad on your angle because it's not going to cop it.
Yeah.
But at the front of the tool, this thing I can actually pull it out really easy.
That's going to snap.
For me, it's going to snap in no time. Also, the indicator that we talked about, which we love, I'm not sure how it got out, being able to rattle around.
Yeah.
I can actually rattle it left to right, and it only moves probably 1.5 mil, maybe 2 mil, but there's a chance for dust and crap to get in there. We know that chippies, every now and again, you cop a shower of rain.
Yeah.
If that gets in there, is there a little sensitive electronics in there? I'm not sure. So, that's only a little thing.
And even though we think that it's a really quality tool, it just takes away a little bit of your confidence when you got little bits of plastic that can rattle or get knocked off.
Yeah.
So
we know it's a tough tool.
Yeah, it's quality.
Yep.
But I think we both probably feel a little bit more confident in the finishing quality of the Milwaukee.
Yep.
It's got that extra weight that they've really not compromised on.
Feels a bit like having a bulldog versus a Shih Tzu, maybe. Something like that.
Or maybe a whippet versus a bulldog. It's a very light tool.
Yeah.
And it's very comfortable. Now the runtime we know is really important to you.
Yeah.
We tried a runtime test first with 2 sheets of 18 mil chipboard.
Yep.
And so that's 36 mil, and they both did about 7 meters before the electronic protection cut in.
Yep. So both of them, the electronic protection they cut in, not the batteries.
That's right.
Ran out.
But we did push the Milwaukee harder on that test because it became clear that it had more power.
Yeah.
Which is obviously very important to people.
Yep.
If you're looking for the most grunty cordless circuit saw on the market, we think there's no question it's the Milwaukee.
Yep.
It's very powerful. And so to get a better feel for runtime, we then did another test with a single sheet of 23 mil.
Yep.
And what were the results for that?
For that one, with the Makita, we actually ended up with 23 cuts.
Yep.
And that had 880 mil.
Yeah, so 20 metres.
So 20 metres spot on. And then the Milwaukee, we got 24 metres, I think it was.
Yes, 24 metres. And we didn't actually run the batteries dry though.
No, the protection did kick in, and that's okay. We're not upset about that, so we're not going to bag it for whatsoever. That's designed for a reason, to save the tool and save the battery. Batteries were quite hot, so they both cut out, and that's all right. The Milwaukee, interestingly though, a couple of times we've done this, you actually get to finish it, and you're sort of looking and go, oh, it's got 1 bar left. You get to finish a cut, and as you let go of the trigger and hit it again, it won't go.
Yeah.
Whereas the Makita will stop when it decides to stop. So it's almost as if the Milwaukee, he's going, yeah, okay, we're really hot. I'm working here. Oh, you've just stopped. You're not going again.
Yeah, that's right. So we like that. Just lets you get that last little bit of cut before it's going to stop.
Yeah, well, the Makita literally finished about 125 mil from the end of the cut.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not bagging it for that because it's there to do a job, and the battery was hot. You know, so I don't want to be smoking my batteries if I can help it because they're expensive, they're consumable.
Yep.
So that did really well, and I think 20 and 24 meters of a 23 mil chipboard.
Yep.
I think that's considerable.
Very respectable.
When most guys are using these to dock off battens, that sort of stuff.
Yep.
In saying that, Dwayne and I sort of on different opinions. I think these are an occasional tool.
Yep.
I still think they're an occasional convenience tool, whereas Dwayne's got a reasonable argument in that they're becoming more and more because companies are going cordless. We're going to go bigger, longer running and stronger.
Yeah. I
still think something like this is an occasional. So if I was to say to you, look, oh, this doesn't do, 35 metres of ripping sheets down, so it's rubbish, I think that's a little odd.
That's right.
I think it's done the right job for you. And when you're on and off and knocking battens or knocking 90-35 studs off at the right length, you're going to get a hell of a lot of time out of this.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think it's a good unit.
So I think it is an all-day tool for a tradie who's cutting battens and studs and things like that.
Yep.
Or really thin kind of sheets.
Yep.
But I think it's as you saw, if you're cutting flooring up like regularly,
yep.
You're going to go through the batteries pretty quick.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to have your cord out to do that.
Yep.
So
for most guys, we sort of recognise that house frames and the likes now, they're prefab. For your home user, we're talking a different story again.
Yep.
I've never had a drama with a runtime on mine as a home user.
No.
But for you guys on there, prefab house trusses, so when you're knocking the walls up and you have to move something and reshape the brace, you're using it on and off to knock a couple of studs down and a top plate down, and then you put it aside, put the wall up, you're nailing away. So you're certainly not using it continuously like we did.
No.
But these two, we probably pushed it to the limit a little bit of what they're designed for. So
that's right. So we don't actually know exactly how many meters it would have gone because we think that both batteries were on 1 bar but probably still had a little bit of juice in them before they cut out. But look, when was the last time you cut 24 meters straight without stopping of a 23 mil piece of...
Not often, because he was talking about it already.
Shut up. So anyway, so what do we think as a roundup? We disagree.
We do. Funny that. Listen, I just take the Makita. And the reason I say that, half a kilo difference, I think, is a big difference.
Yep.
When you're jumping up on the roof, or it's just a lightweight little tool you're buzzing around with.
Yep.
So I take it almost purely on the weight. I don't think there's enough things on it that are lacking enough to make me go across to the Milwaukee, but it is only just.
Yeah,
it honestly is. So the Milwaukee presents really well, and I absolutely love this dust chute because guys inside will be using that dust chute. The Makita has absolutely no option for it. Even if it was an accessory I could screw onto there, I'd love it. But anyway, I just take the Makita.
And the European model has an attached as a dust chute.
Okay.
It says in the manual anyway.
So look, that might be something that will transpire across here because, as we know, Europe and America start the rigs.
Maybe
we seem to follow a fair bit. So
yep.
We'll see. So I'm on the Makita.
Yep, and I prefer the Milwaukee. As much as I like the weight and the thin handle of this, it's more comfortable in the hand.
Yep.
I like having a nice thick base plate, which I think is going to last longer.
Yep.
And the finishings, like I don't like the idea of having a tool and a week later snapping off some bit of plastic. That'd piss me off.
Yep.
And also it won in the runtime test, and it had more grunt.
Yep.
I don't know how you kind of guess that. Maybe in the range of sort of 15% extra power or something. That's just kind of
hard to tell. We're certainly
random
not
guess.
scientific about it, but
no, but it had a bit more grunt, and you can see that in the size of the motors.
Yeah.
And
this isn't just plastic moulding, guys. It's bigger here on this motor. Yeah. That motor is packed to the edge.
Yeah.
You look at it and go, it's got some guts in it.
Yeah. So it's certainly the bigger, stronger tool.
Yep.
And it just depends what you want. If you want something that's really light, then you'd have to take the Makita.
Yep.
I think this one will last longer, and is a bit stronger. So that's my pick.
Yep.
But both really good tools. I'd be happy to own either.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yep. Yeah. Neither of them are duds, guys. So take it as you like it. Yeah. Certainly comment, guys. We love to see your comments and hear your comments.
Yeah.
We do gauge a fair bit of what we do off your comments. So we're here to show you guys what you want. So please continue to comment, share. Everyone's been sharing them.
Yeah, that's right.
Subscribe.
Yep. Subscribe. Like the video if you do like it.
Yep.
And we'll catch you next time.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Catch ya.